We live? Of course we're live. People, deluded, I'm back again. Good morning to those of you in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are, and whatever time zone you're operating from. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Please make sure you're hitting the like button early doors. Obviously, it's Thursday, so I hope you've all been having a fantastic week, wherever you guys are, whatever stage of life you're at. And like I always say, I hope you're all that much closer to thingy, achieving your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and just living the life you lot want. If we're not trying to live life on our terms or have ambition, what is the point, really, man? You need to have that until you die, really. It's quite upsetting seeing people not achieve their dreams. So I hope you're doing well and safe. Obviously, to my England fans, it's coming home, obviously. 90 more minutes and we're patterning our team. Shout out to the North Londoners. Kane obviously did the business. Bukayo Saka, they were trying to agenda my guy. They were saying Saka should have got subbed. I can't lie, I was saying it as well. But he obviously grabbed an assist. Sir Raheem Sterling did the business. Gareth Southgate did. I think in this competition I'd ever end up being a fan of Gareth Southgate though, but I have to applaud him, man. I was one of his biggest critics. I'm probably one of his biggest fans. Still extreme critics about the way we play football, what we do, but at the end of the day, we're in the final. It's at Wembley. Hopefully the fans can make some noise. Hopefully we can beat Italy and achieve some history, and Bukayo Saka can look back at 19 years of age, an FA Cup winner, a European Championship winner, and yeah, man, it'll be the first final I've seen England get to in my lifetime. I know some of you are old enough to remember 1966. I'm definitely not, so this is the closest we're getting to that, and it means we can run agendas now. Like I said, it's coming home, man. I can't lie, on the real. I think Italy will probably have too much for us. I think they're a bit more street smart. I think their squad is at a more healthier cycle. I think our team can be described as very naive. I think Italy have played well in stages like us, but I think we can't really rely on that. And there was another, and I'm very scared about the midfield. Phillips and Rice, we've been speaking about every game. Somehow we've gone to the final. Phillips was a bit woeful last night, but typically he's been the better out of him and Rice. Rice is quite limited in that role. I like Rice, but there's no way on earth he should ever be commanding £60 million. We're gonna get eaten alive by that midfield of Italy. Verratti, Barella, Jorginho, they're gonna swarm that really. And again, you need to have something about you going forward. So for me personally, if Henderson is fit, I'm starting Henderson. I don't think that will be the case. I don't think that will happen. But it is where it is, people, in that regards, man. It's therefore coming home. Let me stop talking was and that, man. And like I said, there's no way. There's no way in hell. Again, it's nothing to do with Rice, but there's no way in hell that he is worth 60 million. I think when you get out of club football, you can see it. You look at Daniel Marlon, there's still a lot of levels he's need to go up with his decision making. Rice is very limited. Bruno Fernandes can be described as a low IQ footballer at times, as shown in the Portugal team. There's no hiding spaces. Everybody and their nan says Jorginho's a good player now. Raheem Sterling's a good player now. They can understand what Henderson brings to the table. Maguire is nothing to write home about, but in terms of mentality, people can understand these things. So it's a bit of a dodgy one. I think we've got a chance against Italy. It's always the final, but I just think Mancini, he's been working for this, innit? Like he's working for this. So who knows what's gonna happen, man. Boy, Harry Kane was lucky, probably, but you make your own luck. He followed in, he scored. Shout out to Kasper Schmeichel, because again, at one point it was just him versus us, really. Credit to Denmark. They played some fantastic football. They scored a fantastic goal. But they just ran out of gas, man. Really, we should have done it off in 90 minutes. They ran out of gas for a long period. And on another day, Denmark had something we didn't. They play football. We don't really have that. They bopped us really and truly. And again, we looked very nervous. Hopefully them nerves are out of our system now, but Pickford, everyone looked nervous early on. Saka was overawed temporarily by the occasion. Pickford throughout the whole game was extremely nervous. I think they need to get that out of them, because that midfield is going to, that whole team, specifically the midfield against the Italians, you're going to need to be on something. And I think we play too much in stages. Therefore, don't let me oversell Italy. I'm respecting them. I think people are underestimating them and have all tournament. I said from the start, they're gonna go far, but at the same time, they can be got at. They've been, Austria asked questions. Spain on another day could have wrapped it up. We were nervous and we made some unnecessary mistakes. Obviously, it was a needless free kick from Shaw to give away. Fantastic free kick taken. I don't really blame Shaw. It's a fantastic free kick. Take nothing away from the set piece, people. But if you look at it, go and watch it again. What's Pickford doing? Take nothing away from Damsgaard's set piece, but what is Pickford doing? You know, Pickford actually gets a hand on it. I think if he sorts out his positioning early on, he has a better chance. These are the finer margins. And I think Southgate's of the mentality of if it ain't broke, I ain't going to fix it. You know, you're not going to see Grealish start in the final. I'd love it, and I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't think I'm going to see Grealish start. I don't think I'm going to see Henderson start. You know, the most you might see is a Saka out, Sancho in, Saka out. You might see something there. I'm hoping for Henderson because I think Henderson for Rice or Phillips is the one we need, because you can see when Henderson comes on, he even makes a third man running behind. You know, Phillips, he's a bit limited at this level again. I like Declan Rice, but bro, pardon me, 60 million quid, 60 M's for Declan Rice. Again, it's nothing to do with him. It's the valuation. Come on now. You know, you're telling me you can't bring through an academy done that can bring to the table what Rice does. 60 million's a madness. But yeah, man, we'll have to deal with what that is saying. And on the other hand, Am's got for 40, 50 million. The club said, give me him for 30 or something if I'm interested. Now 50 is a bit steep. Obviously, 50 is not that much in today's day and age. Can get it done for 40. I'd be haggling over about 30, 35. I might run it all the way to 40 with add-ons and all of that, them Bright House payments and them things there. Big up CS as well. Morning, DG. We out here with you, loving the content, Atlanta, Georgia. I appreciate that, CS, and I appreciate that. Well, I ain't got my phone to hand, so I can't look at my American clock on my phone. I just know it's stupid o'clock where you are. I appreciate that. I know you go on a lot of jogs in the morning and you're taking my content. I'm very appreciative of that. Carl, very appreciative of you. You're a Villa fan. You're here every day, sorry. You know, obviously, I can't lie, man. Southgate's dealing with our boy Jack Grealish dirty, bro. But at the same time, we got to the final. I'm not even going to lie to you lot. Grealish was meaty when he came on. Like, let's be real, Grealish was meaty. Like, he didn't really bring that into the table. I like Mount, but I don't really like Mount in that 10 position, man. It gives me them Aaron Ramsey vibes. Grealish should be the guy, but I don't think Grealish deserves to be subbed, but I can understand it. At the end of the day, we're at the point where egos don't matter. It's just about getting through, doing the job, doing the business. And, you know, credit to Southgate. You know, he deserves his new contract. He deserves to get to plan for the World Cup next year. I almost think, well, Southgate's had this for a minute, innit? Like, what, 2016 times? He's had this job for a minute. You know, I wonder how long he'll get. He might even be the longest serving England manager I've seen in my lifetime, really. Big up M, like he said, big up DG and the nation. It's coming home. Run up the likes, man. If you want England to win this thing, make sure you're hitting the like button, people. We'll get into some other stuff in a minute. Not that there's too much to really speak about. Sterling and Saka will run that aging Italian team ragged. That's it. But Carl, for me, we got to stop playing well in stages. Like, let's be real. Against Germany, we played well in stages. You know, Shaw's going forward, we got them goals. You know, Denmark, we played well in stages. Ukraine, even well in stages. Croatia, well in stages. You know, we still kind of, as an England fan, we're in the final. I don't care, because Italy have won ugly as well. You're waiting on that. Well, to be fair, they've scored mad goals. We're waiting on, in my opinion, that perfect performance. That performance where we're cutting people open. There's too much question marks, really and truly, but we're going to have to see. Their defense might be suspect, but it's still Chiellini there, man. You still got to rate them. Italy are going to bottle their favourites like how Man City were favourites in the Champions League final. I hope so. You know, I don't want Sterling to go through that L, man. Imagine losing a Champions League and a European Championship final in the same year. I remember Henry did that in 06, which it can be quite hurtful. Is it time for Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Not for me. There's no point bringing on Dominic. Unless you're going to spam crosses, he's useless to you. You know, with respect to him, look at Everton. Half of his goals are in the area. Half of them are headers and things like that, you know. If you're not going to give him service, it's irrelevant. I would like to see Kane. In fact, no, to be fair, against Italy, I want Kane to drop into midfield. But it would be nice if Kane stayed centrally, because a couple of chances that were being whistled across the box, you're wondering why is it not given to him. Obviously, the penalty. Do I think it's a soft penalty, and a soft penalty, as C always says, a soft penalty is still a pen. Do I think it was a pen? No. Do I think in today's day and age it is a pen? Yes, there's contact. You know, them defenders are hard done by. Of course, I'll be going ape-ish if I'm Denmark, but you can read it. Sterling's chasing his first touch. He's going absolutely nowhere. As a defender in this climate, you know, if you tackle, it's illegal. You should read he's looking for it. You know, even when we scored the own goal, Sterling is jumping on the floor and that, you know, like he's been fouled. You should read that. You've given the ref a decision. There's contact. That's all that needs. The game's a joke now. We know that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's not our fault. You know, really and truly. Yes, I've benefited from it. And like I said, I'd feel hard done by if I was Denmark. You know, Denmark deserved to go out in more admirable circumstances. They didn't deserve to go out like that. But same way, that's a cop-out, innit? Because, you know, end of the day, away from that incident, what did you do or didn't you do to put this game to bed? There is something that, I guess, if you go with the analytical stuff. So, And like I said, it's coming home, man. But there's a lot to worry. But I just hope we relish the occasion, man. You know, we look very nervous at periods. Just realize that ultimately it's just a game of football. I know there's national pride in it, but it's just a game of football. You're underdogs. Many of you don't, won't play in bigger games like this. You know, some of you will play in Champions League and maybe go far with the World Cup. For you, some of you, this is now or never. So make it happen. You know, hopefully something happens, man. You know, 2020, 2021 has been a crazy year. Hopefully we bring it home, man. Hopefully we bring home the bacon, but I don't know for that, man. I really don't know. In my opinion, Rice shouldn't cost more than Basuma. No, he shouldn't, but the English tax, man. I think Rice will make a quality centre-half, personally. I don't know if he'll ever go there, but I think he'll be a quality centre-half. I don't think he can do the midfield thing, but you link with City, you can't be a midfielder for City. You can't be a midfielder for Chelsea and that. You don't offer enough on the ball, you know. Kante, even if Kante never got away with that, it worked at Leicester and it worked for a second at Chelsea. Conte was like, nah, you need to offer a bit more on the ball. So Rice is definitely a better ball player than people give him credit for. But yeah, man, there's no way in hell that's 60 mil, man. You must be able to just, shop in France or shop somewhere cheaper and bring back a next guy who can do that and some change, man. Stay blessed, my guy. On Arsenal, this has been a mess of a window. So rudderless, no proper planning. Edward, I'd love to say different, but I don't know, man. I can't disagree with you, really. You know, we hear a lot about this guy signing that guy. We're looking at this guy. We're looking at that guy. It is what it is, man. So, yeah, man. But yeah, in relation to Arsenal, we might as well cover some Arsenal stuff. Like I said, there isn't too much in relation to Arsenal. Hit the like button, get your opinions, questions, and the rest of it. Hey, Sandro, I don't want to see you, my guy. You said Paulson's a shooter. Allow it, fam. 80 million for Rice, moving absolutely mad. I don't think Jack was bossing the game. I think that's a bit, I think he bossed it the last game he came off the bench. I think Foden made the difference with some cute touches. I wouldn't go as far personally to say Jack Grealish bossed the game. He was a bit meaty for me, in my opinion. But anyways, in relation to our people, again, like you lot, I'm tired of this always talking about the same thing stuff, but someone's got to do it, people. Let's go through some of these things, some of these reports. Now, I'm sure, like myself, you'd all love you just love any signing at this moment in time, people. As especially early on, the earlier the better for me. I say the earlier the better because I'm panicking, I'm vexed. I want to see movement, of course, but I've always said I'll shut my mouth to the end of the window. But for me, why I want to see it is because that man's name there, Mikel Arteta, he's made a big song and dance about pre-season. Now, you're not going to have your key players. Saka's not there. Leno and Tierney will probably join up later. Gabriel was in the Olympic squad and now he's injured. So in terms of building blocks and you're starting 11, pre-season's disrupted. So at least with these new signings, whether it would be, by God's grace, Aouar, James Maddison, let's be realistic, we're probably going to sign some no-names. Not that I care about that. But the quicker you get them in, the more they can adapt to what Arteta wants and deems he needs from them and how he wants to play. And the less excuses. But as you lot can see here, Arsenal chief Edu issues Mikel Arteta instruction over Houssem Aouar transfer. As you know, Arsenal have been linked with Willian midfielder for a long time, probably as long as United with Jadon Sancho. Mikel Arteta has been told to sacrifice one of his existing midfield stars in order to prepare for the summer signing of Houssem Aouar. According to reports, the Gunners boss is looking to reshuffle his pack ahead of next season, with the club director, Edu, tasked with leading the club's recruitment drive over the coming weeks and months. I mean, regardless, we should be able to... We're quite short in midfield without getting rid of people, but I would like to see some departures. Guendouzi's gone. Can Granit Xhaka? I mean, it's gone a bit quiet, which maybe there's a bit more when things go quiet. Maybe there's some progress. Xhaka's gone out of the Euros, and we heard talk of going to Roma. Can we get that one done? Xhaka out, we're in. Obviously, Torreira is out of the Copa America. Can we get something done there? And there's other departures. Joe Willock, I think that's one we probably not force him out. We probably run that one until August. The same for Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles make a decision very early on, and the rest of them. But specific to the midfield, Xhaka should be a Roma player by now. He really should be. Hit the like button if you haven't, people. Let's not read that. We know we finished 8th. We know we missed out on qualification. We know Odegaard is not coming back. Scrolling down, it says, it seems as though Arsenal will be forced to look elsewhere for an answer to their midfield problems, with Aouar of Lyon said to be under serious consideration at the Emirates. He's contracted until 2023. He was believed to be a target last summer, but ultimately a move failed to happen. Arsenal have been credited with renewed interest in his services according to the new campaign, but they will need to sell players in order to accommodate his arrival. Of course, people, we know Guendouzi's gone, but I'd probably let El Nene run down his deal. Just let him be a side man on the bench in case something happens. But, you should be able to make your 5 million back on him. This is the actual ESPN website. Arsenal are considering reviving their pursuit of Lyon's Houssem Aouar, and I've said it again and again. I don't think there's ever been a better time to go for him. It seems like, PSG have confirmed Ramos today, but it seems like their priorities are elsewhere. Juventus have just signed Tonali. Juventus are about to sign Locatelli. Sorry, I would love us to sign Tonali. So that's two other clubs. Of course, if it ever becomes clear that Houssem Aouar is available for transfer, a bunch of clubs will be involved and stuff. But it seems like you've never had a better chance to go and get it done, people. So yeah, I can't. And obviously, we're still in talks to sign Lokonga. So obviously, Lokonga, Aouar, Partey, Joe Willock still leaves us a bit short, man. I think we'd need a bit more, but it is what it is, people. Apparently, sources have told ESPN that Lyon would be willing to accept a fee in the region of 25 million euros. What a special club, man. We'll spend 30-odd million on Xhaka, 52 million on Lacazette, inflated loan fees on Ceballos and Denis Suarez, give expensive free contracts to Kolasinac and Willian, give Luiz a new deal where in hindsight he played quite well, but a serious club doesn't. When it comes to spending 25 million on something that if it worse comes to worse on the 23-year-old, you can make your money back, there's an issue there. So we'll have to see, people. Apparently, he's thought to be open to a move to the Premier League and would not rule out a move to Arsenal on the basis they cannot offer European football. As we know, his valuation has dropped considerably. Sources told ESPN in January that Aouar was surprised Arsenal did not make more of a concrete attempt to sign him at that time. He was eager on a move to Barcelona or Real Madrid. However, it appears interest from those clubs is yet to materialize. Obviously, Barcelona are broke and Madrid seem to have priorities elsewhere. And Arsenal may have an opportunity to complete a deal for a player who made 33 appearances last season, registering 8 goals and 4 assists as they missed out on Champions League qualification by 2 points and they finished 4th. So, yeah, that's that in relation to Aouar, folks. Is there any other Arsenal transfer news? I've got Mazawi and whatnot, but other than that, it seems to be a bit of a slow day, people. Apart from that, yeah, man, we'll get into the rest of that in a second, people. What's this one? This might be the same thing. Sports Witness, Locatelli, De Paul, Aouar, some great targets, people. So yeah, I'm surely that's on Edu to move these guys on. Surely, am I talking nonsense, people? Like last time I checked, swear it's Arteta's job to say you're not in my plans. Talk to your agent and pattern a move. Arteta, as much as I can blame him for things, he's not the one calling up this club saying, yo, do you want Kolasinac? Do you want that? Surely that's on Edu and his team. Surely we should know who we're getting rid of, who's not featuring in the plans. Certain, don't get twisted. Certain man, you tell them they're not in the plans, they'll say, all right, cool, I'm leaving. They'll do the job for you. Certain people are happy to stay. Certain people will just say, I'll probably outlast the manager. Certain people will say, all right, cool, let me prove my chance here. Certain people just say, all right, I'm on the contract. I don't care what you say. I'm still getting paid, big man. So surely it's down to Edu. And this is the problem with the exit strategies. I don't need to tell you lot. We're just football fans. We're not in these situations, but we could all understand how giving Willian the length of contract and the wages was a terrible decision. And the numerous other things we've done, So surely that's on Edu to pull out his finger. And as I said at the start, pull his finger out. And like I said at the start of the window, Edu's got to Arteta's got to prove a lot with preseason. Edu's got to prove a lot for me off the field. I'm no idiot. I know it's not just him. I think like last season, him and Arteta, as much as I criticized them, they were crippled by the Kroenke's lack of movement. But I need to see something. I still don't really know what Edu's about. I don't really know what player you've brought into this team. Because you was getting clout for Martinelli. We know that was a scouting job. You was getting clout for Marie. We hear you've crossed his path, obviously, when you was working in Brazil. So you know about the Spanish international. But then we hear Arteta's cross paths with him. So I don't really know what Edu's about. I have to assume an Edu signing together with Arteta is Willian. So I need to see a lot done this window. I don't expect all business to be done. I'm not expecting fireworks. But what am I expecting is clarity and progress. Other teams are getting onto it. Look at Wolves. They're signing 1-2 man. Leeds, 1-2 man. Villa. If they hold on to Grealish to go with Buendia and, by God's grace, they don't get Smith Rowe. Or if they get a next one like Smith Rowe, You know, they're going to be doing things. You know, Ashley Young's not a big signing, but they've brought in some experience. And I'm sure Villa are going to sign a couple of other men. And I'm sure there's other teams that are doing our Leeds, signing Firpo and that. You know, what are we doing? I'm not calling for names. I'm calling for clarity. You know, I'm looking at my club. There's arguably a need for 2 midfielders. That beggars can't be choosers. I can't see one arrive. What's going on at right back? You know, what's going on with backup left back? To be fair, Lokonga and Tavares are signing, but all we hear is that they're signing. I don't see no shirts. Hopefully that gets confirmed, man. Like, I think next week we should see something, if not on Friday, but that's just my guess as a fan. The quicker you get people in, the better. You know, so the quicker these guys can adapt. And obviously, the quicker you move people on, the better business you can do. We can be linked with all these players until we're blue in the face, folks. There's only so much, you know, on the best of days when we were somehow in Europe. We know we had a Champions League, but we had Champions League wages with a Europa League squad. Now there's a massive imbalance. And we're in the double whammy is that some of these guys are mediocre, they're on abnormal wages, and they've got no real emphasis to move. That's my biggest pet peeve. Even the guys that are frozen out, you never get the vibe that is their choice that is Arsenal's choice to move them on. Like Kolasinac, you don't get the vibe that Arsenal are saying you need to move on. You get the vibe that he's saying, I want to try something else. David Luiz the same, Willian the same, Granit Xhaka the same, and all of these other things. So we need to sell before we can buy. Of course, it's a bit of a double whammy because you have to sell before you can buy, but you can't really buy before you can sell. And then you sell him, man. You need, you know, to sell Joe Willock, you might want to buy this guy, but if something goes wrong, you need a body, and Joe Willock around, then it might be that. So it's a gazy one. But that's where we need clarity. That's where we couldn't go into this saying things like, Joe can stay, now he's gone, now he can stay, now he's gone. Maitland now it's the same. There's too many halfway in, halfway out guys. Make decisions and double down on them. It seems like we double down on the wrong ones, to freeze out Saliba and not have clarity, to rub out Guendouzi, you know, to sell Martinez for 20 million. At the time, it looked like you lot were eating. Villa had the last laugh, and now we've got an absolute clowning goal. He wants to keep it moving. But it is what it is in that regards. We do need to sell before we can buy. Everybody needs to pull their fingers out. It's as simple as that, really and truly. You know, it really is. Big up everyone locked in. Please make sure you're hitting them like buttons, folks. Where are we at in terms of likes? We're still only at 78, so it is what it is. What else are you lot saying? Morning, Pack. I hope you're doing well and safe as well. Don't sleep on the likes, like my man is saying, man. Henderson's leadership is going to be important. He has a proper winning mentality. Fact. Sup, DG, finally got your feed live from Melbourne, nearly 9 p.m. here. Shout out to Blender, man. I appreciate that, man. You've also said, by the way, do you think Saliba will ever fit into our team? We're only going to speak positive vibes. So one day, when? I don't know, but one day, man, one day. I appreciate you, CS, for your jogging, you know, letting me accompany you on the jog, man. I appreciate that. I agree. Didn't like Mount in the 10. I like Mount's work off the ball. He harasses, man, and he snaps at heels and that, but I just think for England, it's a pivot thing. You know, he should be there. And, you know, I think Henderson and Mount, he's not going to do it in the final, but that could be a good pivot. Getting you free up for a Foden or a Grealish, whoever one you want to go through, man. Marie's finna jump ship. I don't mind, though. You know what is? I would like Marie to stay. Obviously, I think everyone wants to play, but he's a left-sided, left-footed centre-half. I do think fans overrate him, but I think he's decent. He's a bit experienced. You know, obviously, I don't think he's happy to sit on the bench, but you do need a couple, man, that when they're just called upon, they can do a thing. You know, I wouldn't mind that. But equally, you know, you could say we brought in Marie for no reason. It was penny pinching. And then that's the thing about penny pinching. You're talking about buying a next centre half, and you're talking about buying a next centre half, and then you're talking about selling them. I wouldn't begrudge. I done a video on it, or I clipped up from the stream yesterday. I wouldn't begrudge Marie for going to Besiktas or wanting to play on a regular basis and all these sort of things. You know, I'm sure he thought the move to England might get him in the Spain squad. I don't know, man. Does Kane dropping affect the number 10? Affects everything, brother. Of course. Saka looked out of his depth yesterday. To me, he still made something happen regardless, but he needed a game like that to grow as a player. Him getting battered up a little will do him wonders, of course. And that's the levels of international football. You know, I remember Reece James in his start in the Euros. He's not a bad player. Mentally, he looked overawed. Saka looked crazy overawed. And then Saka had that stage where, for me, he was trying a bit too hard, where he was overrunning it, and then he was just holding on to it, and then he kind of settled and things like that. He needs all of that. All these young players do. A man said, wasn't a pen in my opinion, but we've been done in the past with decisions like that. Make your own luck. Facts. Apparently, the free kick should have been ruled out as the wall distance was wrong or something. I don't know about that. Probably it should. But at the same time, I don't think Pickford organised his wall well enough or organised his positioning. Take nothing away from the strike, man. DG, who from the academy would you say is the most ready to be promoted to the first team? I don't know, my guy. I don't know. Everybody looks decent, man. I wouldn't actually think there is somebody at this moment in time off the top of my head, but I think Brooke Norton Coffey, right back, if everything falls into place, he's 17 now, 17, 18. Maybe by the time he's 19, 20, if everything falls into place, he should be doing his thing there. Amari Hutchinson, I believe in him. Charlie Patino, I think he's fully an Arsenal player. I think Zayn Mon-Louise could be a centre-half to come through our academy if a centre-half's ever going to do it. The couple names I'm missing out, and again, I don't like that question. I don't think anybody's ready right now, but yeah, I'd love to see Tyrese John Jules, like Balogun, at least be given pre-season to show what he's on. The usual names, but I don't know, man. You'd have to ask someone who knows more about the youth, man. I'm just a man with an opinion on this thing, man. I don't know, man. Yo, DG, do you think we've tarnished our influence in France with the treatment of Saliba and Guendouzi? Positive vibes? Yes and no. I'd be kidding if I don't think, people might be looking at it and thinking about it, but I don't think no, because any logical person should look at that situation. Admittedly, I can't look at Saliba's one, but Guendouzi kind of made it for himself. It's not because of football, it's because he was moving mad. 100% DG, but did Arteta say him and Edu had a clear plan? Bro, I always hear clear plan, ready to move in either direction. Show it to me then, innit? That's all I care about, because as a fan, I'm not there. I don't know. You could have bidded. You could have been 2 seconds away from signing Kylian Mbappe this window. Banner, but you get it. But I don't care if it's not been brought in. You can tell me you have a good plan. You might have tried to do a madness and other variables and spanners were thrown into the works. As a fan, I don't care. I just look at my club. You lot are in these positions. We're underperforming. We need signings. We need a midfielder. We need a centre half. We need this and that. Go and bring it in. I don't care if Maddison's your first choice target and you don't get him. Get your plan B. I don't care if you don't get your plan B. Get your plan C, because that's what we should be doing into the market. We shouldn't be stumbling about who is our targets now. And that's where I have a bit of confidence when allegedly that's why we're not going for Buendia. But I don't know. I think we're freestyling. You can't come into the summer and think, where is my targets? You need to know from Christmas times what's going on. Like I said, have your plan A's. If we get Champions League, we can get this. If we don't get Europe, we get that. If this guy says no, we go there. Unless you're Kylian Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Cristiano Ronaldo, these, sort of players there, Bukayo Saka, DG and that, you always gonna, there's always gonna be other players in it. And as Arsenal Football Club, we're not the most attractive club in the world right now. So we should have other targets. So clear plan, all of that. I don't care if there's not a clear plan. There's got to be a clear plan, because I don't care for words. We need to see something. As I said, I'm not expecting pre-season to turn us into a madness, but I'm expecting building blocks. I'm actually not expecting them to bring in all the outgoings and incomings and things, but I'm expecting a vast majority. I'm expecting to sit here as a fan and just look at the squad and say, I somewhat believe in this now, because I feel as an Arsenal fan, there's just one too many players that we don't believe in. And that's the vast majority. How many players do we agree with? Xhaka is better than people giving credit for, but that guy, diversifies opinion. Many of these players, will only sit there and say, what, Tierney, Saka. Jury's still out on party. A couple man don't even rate Gabriel. I think they're buzzing. Leno divides opinion. I just want a full 11 that I believe in. I want to see a collective plan from the gaffer. So, they said, Edu and Arteta have a clear plan. They need to prove it. Like I said, it's very early in the market. It's July, innit? So I'll shut my mouth. But come August 31st, September the 1st, or whenever the window closes, it is what it is. I am expecting Arsenal to do things like, if we sign a backup left back, we're not going to sign a first choice right back, or we sign a first choice right back, we're not getting a backup left back. We sign a 6, we're not getting the 8. We're not getting the I don't think we're going to do all of the business in terms of ingoings and outgoings. But at least if a significant part is done, then I can't complain. But again, I personally, for me, I know the roles interlapped, but Arteta, you need to get pre-season spot on. Edu, you need to get recruitment spot on. Because you was a midfielder. That's my biggest problem with these two. You two was a midfielder, and it's not been a lot. You lot have been too passive with addressing this midfield. As much as we talk about our strikers and our defense, our midfield doesn't stand for anything. You look at Arsenal's midfield; they're not bad players, but together, what are they? Are they a nasty bunch of players that lock down the midfield? Are they a technical bunch? Are they, dynamic runners with goal scorers? Our midfield is one of the only in the Premier League. You look at it, what is it? Like our whole team, what is it? And I'm not trying to be negative. Genuinely, what is Arsenal? You can tell us winning through harmony and all of these things, but we don't reflect Arsenal slogans and things like that. We play like a bunch of cowards. Let's be real. We play well in stages, and we're looking at a young 19-year-old to lead the way more time. So if we do have a clear plan, Arteta, all I'm asking is that Mikel Arteta and Edu just simply prove it. If we don't get 200 likes, Chiesa will score a hat-trick in the final. Come on, people, run up the like button. If you're Italian and you think you want to win, you do not hit that like button. It's an L. For all my English fans out there, we're going to get embarrassed if you do not hit that like button. So you know exactly what to do, people. Apparently, there's been another Ben White bid as well, allegedly, but I can't really see a credible source on that. Apparently, people are saying 48 million. And if you looked at Charles Watts, apparently on Instagram yesterday, he said it's coming home. Willock should be sold already. Willock's an interesting one, man. I don't think there's one where anyone can win with Joe Willock, because if we sell him and he excels, why do we let him go? If he stays and he doesn't bang, we had a good chance to sell him. I said it yesterday. I don't think you've had a better chance to sell potentially Joe Willock, El Nene, Chambers. I'm not saying to sell any of them, particularly Chambers and Joe Willock because of homegrownness. But since we've signed Chambers, we've seen patches of good form from him. Arguably, in the last 2 seasons, he's been fit. He's been very good. But have we, he's been here for many years now. Shaw's kicked on, gone into the England team. James Ward-Prowse just missed out. Chambers ain't got a sniff, and he will come up through them. He's not going to be the first choice right back. He's not going to be the first choice centre half. He's not going to get a chance in midfield. Arguably, is he going to be, you're probably looking at him as being full 5th choice in a world. And I'm sure he wants to play football. Has there been a better chance to get your 15, 16 million back? You can grab a 20 for Chambers. Like I said, I don't mind him staying in the squad, actually. I like him, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't mind El Nene running down his contract just as a body. We spent 5 million on him, but there's never been a better chance. The footballing world has never been speaking about Joe Willock as much. And this is where it comes as a practical plan. You might sell Joe Willock and it's the wrong decision, but I'm sure if you sell Joe Willock, you bring in one of these many names we're linked with, you pattern up in pre-season and get us to where we're going, many people can concede that and say, all right, then, I get where you're coming from. What can we say? But yeah, there's never been a better time. Sorry. Sell Willock, Chambers, El Nene. And again, it all comes from clarity and knowing what you want to do, because are we going to get this same Joe Willock? Even if I force it, bro, Steve Bruce has got more of a tune out of Joe Willock than you. It seems like there's more clarity in his role. The Joe Willock at Newcastle, is it going to be the same Joe Willock here? Because you was playing him as some false 9, some similar to what England trying to make Mount do yesterday. This aggressive pressing 10 is dead, man. It's dead. So are you going to use the tools in the best way? If I'm real with you, is Joe Willock going to play significant football? Let's be completely real. I would like him to stay in the squad. But if we bring in Lokonga, if you've got Partey, if Aouar comes in, if Smith Rowe is there in the 10, I'd probably even try bringing the next midfielder. Joe Willock can mix it in and prove himself, but is he going to play significantly? From what I've said, unless Joe Willock does a madness, will he start 2 games in a week? And for Joe, he needs to be doing that. You see, Saka, you spoke about wanting to be in the England squad. Southgate does dodgy call-ups. You're only going to get it through playing on a regular basis. Is that going to happen here? I don't know. And like I said, we've got to be cruel to be kind. Obviously, I haven't said Maitland-Niles, but you get the same trail of thought goals with him as well, man. Aouar at 8, Maddison at 10 would be perfect alongside Partey. They'd cost 100 million, but we'd have great resale value in 3-4 years if things go well for them. Akil would be amazing, man. It'd be amazing, but that's not going to happen, man. It's too good to be true, man. I think Marie is similar to Mertesacker. He's slow but good, but quite good positionally. I think people overrate a lot of what he does. He can get pulled out of position, but I'd wholeheartedly agree. His reading of the game's good. What I like about Marie is actually what I like about Chambers as well. He doesn't do things above his pay grade. He's got a pass on him, but he only tries it if he knows it's going to happen. I do think his lack of pace, being pulled into wide areas, scares me. He is similar to Mertesacker. Mertesacker's clearly better than him, so it's a great point. I think he's a good reader of the game, and I don't mind that. He's an experienced guy, and he's an actual left-footed, left-sided centre-half, so I'm open to selling him. Who is Marie really? But I think he can be used in the squad, man. I think, if it was up to me, probably why Saliba might have to go on loan, because I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, but, assuming Ben White comes in, Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba would be my centre-halves. I'd actually use Holding, and you'd probably have Marie. So out of Marie or Chambers, one of them probably has to keep it moving, which is why, well, what I said, maybe it's best for Saliba to go out on loan. At least initially, Saliba, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Saliba wouldn't be my first choice starting Brentford away. I'm not starting Saliba. It's one of them. You're training, doing your thing in pre-season. Your chance is going to come. When you get it, grab it. You know, you'd probably start off third, fourth choice centre half. You're training, you're working, we're working with you. You get your chance. But right now, if I'm Arteta based on last season, Holding would be ahead of you. Gabriel would be ahead of you. A new centre half would be ahead of you. You know, and then once you earn it, you're flying. Because let's get it straight. We still have to protect Saliba. You know, he's still gonna have some shaky moments and some dodgy periods, and it's no one's gonna speak about it and things. Please make sure you're hitting the like button if you haven't. I appreciate it. We're at 115 likes. I scared you lot, innit? People keep running that out. What else have we got? Did grow into the game. Someone said Saka grew into the game. Exactly. He wasn't starting for Newcastle at times. He came off the bench and affected it. But I think people look at it with rose tints. You know, I'm not trying to discount Joe Willock, but when you're watching the games, it's not like he's bossing it. Like, he's scoring goals and doing important things, but it's not like he's playing mad intelligent. Like, if I'm completely honest with you, Joe Willock ain't really proved much to me. You know, I know you can get goals. I know a confident Joe Willock is a madman, but you know, in fact, to be fair, Leicester away, and I think Villa, he showed some technical quality and some good 1-2s in that. But I haven't really seen, can you dictate play? Can you build? You know, the box-to-box running only goes so far. And as much as I love Joe Willock, I'm sorry, but it doesn't sound good saying a midfielder works hard. I'm not saying Joe Willock isn't good, but you let that understand football. Come on now. Midfielder running about, he should be able to run about, you know. And not more time. Man only say that about footballers that are not good. He runs about, he wears his heart on his sleeve. But why aren't you talking about his technical ability? You know, the problem with Joe Willock is he still needs time to develop. But in that role, we need some more ready-made midfielders. And how good is he going to be, really? You know, not everybody needs to be first team. People can be squad regulars and stuff. But yeah, I do think people look at that Newcastle spell with rose tints because of the propaganda pieces. He's done amazing, you know, to score in big games, to score consistently, to make the difference, of course. But it's not like, bro, sometimes he's not been in the game. He's just scored. And there's got to be a reason he's been dropped out of the team at times. So there could be a reason. Make sure you check out the Adrian Clark interview. We touched on that briefly as well. Chambers is a decent squad player to fill out the homegrown quota. Trust me. But like I'm saying, you know, if we need to sell to buy, must be able to get 20 million on Chambers. Bro, chat to Vieira. You might need him, bro. Chat to that. 20 million on him. 30 million on Joe Willock. That's about 50. Maitland now, you're probably getting about 20 or something. Maybe you should push it. He's an England international, 25, but his stock's fallen. Eddie about 15. Nelson a similar fee, if that. You know, maybe even 10 for Nelson because his stock is on the floor. You know, I know it's not exactly as easy as this, but suddenly you're starting to paint a better picture, man. Is what it is, man. We'll have to see. Bro, man say Gabriel's not our best centre-half, man. I don't rate Gabriel. That's just me. You don't have to rate him. He is raw with it, but I think he's our best centre-half. I like aggressive defenders, innit? I just think he needs to be worked on, man. Yeah, you're right on that, man. Gabriel lacks a lot of composure. He's very scrappy with it. But as a 23-year-old, we expected that. That's why I think we need to get that more experienced one. We need to work with Gabriel personally because, bro, man can't be sitting here saying you need this defender to play well and that. You're Gabriel, boss it and that. But he does lack a bit of, he's prone to moments of madness. But that's where I feel with Arsenal, we sign players we don't know what we're getting. You see how we grab players? Every time we sign a man, they boss it and then they start to move robbed or get infected with the disease. So it's an issue, man. It is what it is, man. So yeah, man. But it's about working with them. And that's why, for me, if Saliba can go somewhere and play, it'd be different, man. Guys, like the vid and share it. Appreciate that. Looking at things, seeing that Marie wants to leave, it makes sense. We're linked to that Bologna defender. He can fill in at centre-half, but he primarily plays a right-back for us. Interesting comments, man. Aziz would be someone for me. You'd be training in and around the first team. You know, see how you do. We might start thinking about a loan. I think Aziz one of them that don't need a loan, but he needs to, I think he needs to probably go up he's gone up levels at 23s, but just a little bit more. Just show me a tiny bit more at that 23s level. But he's someone that should be unofficially promoted to the first team. You're training, you're traveling, you're learning. I think once he realizes If I can do things in 2 touches, I don't need to take 4. And for me, the major improvements Aziz needs to make is defensively, or he's going to struggle. We could have a player there. He's very much an Arsenal Academy player. If there was a blueprint on an Arsenal Academy player, Miguel Aziz is that. And, with messing up Benatia, Guendouzi, you need to give me one of these artists in midfield in which Aziz can. But let's just keep patient. He's a good player, nowhere near as good right now as people that don't watch him on a regular basis, in my opinion, comment on him. But the future is bright for him, man. Probably struggle in the Championship initially. There was no plan. They're playing this by ear. Paul, that's not a bad thing if you've got street smart individuals and guys with mad contacts. It's crazy, man. Are you tired of our fans talking about Martinez versus Leno? It's such an old, tired subject. Arsenal made the right decision at the time. Get over it. Generally, because, I talk about Martinez because I praise what he does for Argentina. But in relation to direct comparison, I can't blame fans for keep speaking about it because it is bewildering because now you need a keeper. But fundamentally, I agree it's right. I don't think it was the right decision at the time, apart from the fact that 20 million fell out of nowhere, because where was he? I don't think it was, because I think, it was never healthy to kind of, what I feel, make abundantly clear to Leno that you are my number one. Martinez has no chance. Martinez made a big song and dance of fight, and he's still bitter about it, let's be real, of fighting for this number one. So if you finally got your hands on the number one jersey at Arsenal, you've won a title, you're the closest you've ever been to being this football club's number one. Yeah. If the manager says in pre-season, boom, best man wins. Leno, it's your shirt right now, but Martinez is breathing down your neck. Martinez, you was part of the FA Cup thing. It's your shirt, any F's-ups, and it's him. I think he would have relished it. I think it was made abundantly clear if Leno's fit, Leno's playing, and Martinez says, you know what, I'm keeping it moving. And then now Leno's saying he keeps it moving. I can't blame Leno. He don't owe us nothing. He's got one career to live. But this is the problem. And I personally feel when Martinez was here, there was an uptake in Leno's performances. Now he's stagnated. I don't rate Leno. I've said it before, innit? I don't rate Leno. I think he's better than what I give him credit for. I think he's shaky. I thought that since the day he signed him. Kicking overrated, shot stopping overrated. Like he'll save a shot and then he'll palm it into somebody. It doesn't make sense. Then it's not good shot stopping. Spreads nervousness as well. I like him, but I gotta be honest to you lot, man. I can't sit here and lie, man. Bro, Palace signing a good player in Elise, man. Hopefully he develops. Keen to see Zaha stay. Eze there, obviously, hopefully Eze gets over that injury and then see some balling thing, man. I think everybody's got, I wouldn't say soft spot for Palace, but you like to see them do well, man. They don't cause anyone trouble, and got a soft spot for Vieira, so we're hoping they can overachieve next season and stuff. Big up DG at work listening to you. Everyone throw up a like on the show. Appreciate that, Jungle, man. Love for that. I agree. We need to move without sentiment on Willock, etc., and create a new Arsenal that fans can be excited about. Do you know what it is? It's just too much sentiment at this club. Way before we asked the question, are they a good player? They're good around the young players. Every experienced player within that first team should be good for the young players. That's my opinion. They're this, they're that. You start hearing how they're big characters in the dressing room. I hear that, but there can be other characters to be made. Football's always an evolving game. EG, do you think Rice and Phillips will struggle against Barella, Verratti, and Jorginho? Yep. 100%, man. Is it coming home? Of course, man. EG, in your opinion, do you think Arteta's hands are tied? And if so, where is this 235 million reserves? Because something doesn't add up. I don't know where the money is. I'm not there, my guy. I don't know. When you find out, tell me, man. I need to find out myself as well. His hands probably are tied, but at the same time, I can't have sympathy for Arteta, because while I think you're crippled by the Kroenkes, you've inherited a poor side with bad habits and the rest of it and stuff like that. I can't kid myself. This ain't woe is me. This ain't, a single mom that's trying bare hard and she's struggling and that, You were offered the Arsenal job and you took it. You was offered the Arsenal job 12 months before and you said no. So what has changed? You've been given even more responsibility, really, on no merit. Once again, you knew the role at this job. And I think Arteta, as much as I back him and think there's a lot of harsh things, there's a lot of things he gets to hide behind. we talk about these players being poor, but nobody talks about the coaching. Who's significantly improved? You know, Pepe, there's a tune out of him. Holding, there's a tune out of him. But look at our attack. We're 9th for goals. Arteta will have you believe, or propaganda will have you believe, we need to sign new attackers, in which I'm not against new attackers, but 9th for goals, people. Whatever you have to say about Lacazette, Aubameyang, Willian, Martinelli, the rest of them, 9th for goals. Come on now. We've learned our lessons from Olympiacos in the semi-finals. Then, you know, we're doing the nonsense we did in the semi-finals from a playing point of view and a tactical point of view. And actually, if you're watching that Europa League, you lot know me because I was doing live watch-alongs in that. I was very unimpressed with once we got past the group stages. We struggled in every game. We failed to understand football is a tournament game. You know, we got. I mean, the Europa League. We got away with turning it around in the second half of many of those games. You bucked Villarreal. There was none of that. Very reactive. Very, very, very reactive. And this is the thing, man. I just think there's too many luxuries to hide behind, man. That's just me anyways, man. That's just my opinion. I think like we can't lie. He knew coaching was a big part of this. He knew a lack of resources. And the minute Arteta came in, we heard homework, pressing, drones, this, that, and the other. And maybe the players have reverted to type like the frauds they generally are. But I don't know, people, man. That's just how I feel. Show me something next season, man. That's without a doubt. Arteta has to show me something next season. Have to be ruthless. So be ruthless with the right players, man. It's like we're ruthless with the with the wrong players, and then, you know, we're showing love to duds. It's not making sense to me, but it is what it is. 300 people locked in. We should at least have 200 likes. Keep running them up, people. We're at 151. We're close, but we're not close enough. We can't hang on to injury players. Even sell Cedric, he's not good enough. He might not be good enough, but that's where, again, Arteta bewilders me. You can't say he's the best fullback in the club, he's the best going forward, and then you're rubbing him out. Fair enough, opinions change, but this is it. Even with Cedric, you know, you now don't want to use him. He's now on a 2-3 year deal at 29 years of age, and he didn't really do much to warrant that at Arsenal. Now you've got Willian. Can we really trust these individuals to make the right decisions? Only time will tell, and this could be a good season for Edu and Arteta to earn a lot of fans' trust back, because I'm sure many people do support Arteta. I support him. I don't want him to get it wrong, but I can't, apart from just supporting you as a gaffer, I can't defend you. You know, like I always say, I got allegiances to Arsenal Football Club, not you. I don't want to be a sacking club, but there needs to be an element of ruthlessness. And will there be? I don't know, because even when Emre deserved to get the clip, initially the club wanted to give him a new deal. So Mazzolini, people, really and truly. Marie has barely featured and gets too much props for nothing. I agree, but that's it. It's always the player. Have you noticed when we lose a game, it's always the player that's not involved, the one that should have been, and that goes for all clubs, man. Man said buying Saliba was dodgy. Going on loan isn't the wrong decision though, but I don't think it's dodgy. Like, you went after one of the most. We came to be a signing of tomorrow. We want players of tomorrow. We went after a centre half that has scope to be, as Raul said, a centre half for decades. I think that's overdoing it. And Joe Willock's value may be higher. It may never well be. This is why we need to take a chance, man. Can't lie, I wouldn't say no to Willock, to selling Willock. Newcastle system fits in better. Plus, we could use the cash. Facts. Nelson is the best player out of him, Eddie, and Willock, but I feel Arteta didn't give him a chance this season, 100%. Oh, where have you been for the last few years? Zalalem's gone, man. Last time I heard, he runs the Chelsea channel now. Cam is not here for it. We keep speaking about it because the decision to sell Martinez was wrong on all levels. I don't think Leno's dead, but I still rate Leno, man. Chat, your girl is going to walk away if you don't hit the like buttons. Drive them up. Come on. You know. And this is the thing. This is absolutely the thing, you know. By selling Willock, we'll either be happy or living in regret. But that's the thing about football. You have to make a decision. Like, you need to make a decision. Like, We can't not sell a man. Bad decisions happen, bro. Selling Chelsea, selling Kevin De Bruyne. I'm sure you chat to many Chelsea, man. They might say, yeah, it would have been nice to have him, Mo Salah, and all them man there. But they made the decision. They doubled down in it. I agree with you. But it just feels like we're just hanging on to bare man, not even just the youngsters, because they might be that guy or they might not be that guy. But we're not actually taking the steps to allow them to be that guy, you know. That's what we got with Maitland-Niles. We was about to sell him. Hold on a minute. He played well in the Community Shield. England's called him up. We might be, let's slow your horses down, love. Put the kettle on. We're moving too fast. Joel Willock the same. But when you're proactive, it don't matter. You know, if you're going to use that P, like we said, to buy someone that's 30 in here for now, then we can say, all right, cool. It might be the wrong decision. Like for me, obviously I understand why Guendouzi's gone and the issues with that, but I'm absolutely livid. But if you bring me Aouar, you bring me a midfielder, and I'm seeing my team with a bit more consistency, we're moving a bit better in terms of getting top 4 in these things. What could I say? What could I say? I have to. It's cool. It is what it is. It is what it is. And this is it. Fundamentally, man, have to move on from Martinez, but I don't think fans should move on from questioning the club's decisions and just not having a good enough keeper, really. And for me, the problem, I don't know, what's the problem with Arsenal's keepers? Because Leno, Martinez has improved. He improved. Like, you know, that Martinez was there for a while. Let's be honest. Yeah, no one was gassing him until he got his chance in it. I remember when Martinez was quite shit and goal for Arsenal when he got his chances. But why didn't we see that? Why did we only see that Martinez at the last bit? Why doesn't Leno look significantly better? Rinison is rubbish, but why hasn't he improved? What's going on with the keepers? I don't know who said Martinez is coming back. I don't know what you're listening to there, but why hasn't no keeper specifically improved it? What's going on with the coaching or the coaching staff? Why don't keepers improve? Because arguably, strikers score goals, but arguably a keeper at Arsenal should be more central. Playing out from the back, the goalkeeper's the first line. That's what starts it. It's the eyes and ears. We can't get it up there unless he does it. So what's going on there? You know? What? I don't know. I just have this thing with Arsenal. Like a speed up. Well, we either sign terrible keepers or people stagnate. It's a gazy one, really and truly. It's an interesting one, though. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Over 300 people locked in. I'm very appreciative of such, man. People are acting like we sold newer, but you know, I think it's there. All right, sorry, man. I thought, how's this guy getting on to me? He's always in the chat. Appreciate that, man. My guy, man. Done no. Air spud and that. Put the gun away. Thought it was beef. Would Martinez go back, though? Not sure he would. Why would he go back? You know, the love drama's over. I wouldn't want Arsenal to take Martinez back. It's over. Martinez is still stung. And, you know, you Villa fans on Twitter, you're cool, but you always in my benches telling me behaves a bit insecure. He's a top keeper. It's an L. We move on, you know. He's a good keeper, but, you know, in the same way he came out of nowhere, there must be a next man. You buy a better keeper or a levels keeper, people shut up about Martinez. It's as simple as that. It's like if you sell Joe Willock, you don't bring a midfielder in, and Joe Willock's moving mad, man are going to speak about that. Like, this is how football works. Like, give the club or the fans no reason to speak on these things. And sometimes we just need to I think football fans sometimes things just, I'm not talking about Martinez, mainly with young players. Sometimes it's just not meant to work out at your club. Like, that player's meant to be levels. It's just not going to happen at Arsenal or somewhere else. Or someone's going to come to Arsenal and he was meant to be a star, but it didn't happen elsewhere. You know, sometimes these things just happen, man. Mistakes happen. But it's about how you double down on those mistakes. Clubs make mistakes. It's just when we make mistakes, we dibble and double in them. We don't section it off quickly. We don't kill off the virus quickly. We keep getting the word process shoved down our throats, pause, but it doesn't really seem like there's a plan at all. Man are on some career mode thing. What happened to Onana? It seems like them ones have been quiet. Last time I looked, it looked like Inter Milan and Lyon were onto him. Crazy. Was it your old team in the Rattled FC video on Twitter? Yeah, bro. Yeah. Shout out to Wengers for saving me. Like you can see, football's been a mad season for me. I've gone from that to being an uninvincible, unbeaten, and them thing. That's crazy, man. Chesney, you know what it is? Chesney could have stayed, but everyone understood that that was Wengers Guendouzi. It's like Chesney got chance after chance after chance, and he's just taking the piss. Like, it's one of them ones where it goes beyond ability. Wenger, whoever, don't care about your ability now. You're just a headache. I'm not on it no more. Like, there's enough stress. And then there's Arsenal stress and then Chesney stress. It's like that's the only thing I'll give Arteta. If I'm Arteta and I'm trying to get Arsenal back to where it is, and there's a bag of question marks being asked, there's a bag of things I need to do. I can't lie, I'm not trying to have all of this stress and Guendouzi's nonsense, pissing about in training, acting up when we're in Dubai, not saying sorry at internal meetings. But I wouldn't have it either. I can't lie, I probably would have kept Guendouzi. I probably would have swanked for him and then said be easy, but I understand it. Gnabry, we're doing nonsense. No excuses for that. Thoughts on the laser pen incident yesterday? The laser incident before the pen, distasteful. Scumbagness from England fans. Obviously, it is what it is, but you don't. It's not nice, isn't it? It's disgraceful, really. And this is why the whole of the world is going to be cheering on Italy. This is why you hear the way Germany spoke, Croatia spoke. They spoke about our arrogance and this stuff, not from the players, but from the fans. And you're not helping yourself, man. And this is it. Fundamentally, Martinez is gone, bro. Like, I don't really care now. Like, obviously, I want a better keeper than Leno, but he's gone now. It's done. Shout out to Martinez. He's still my guy, but it's calm, man. This is why we got no points in Eurovision. Hey, Peter's killing me. Oh, my God. Congrats on England winning. Appreciate that, Lucas. Trust the process. I'll trust anything, but I'm not just going to sit here and trust things. Like, I need to see encouragement. You can't I'm not just going to sit here and say trust a process that I can't see. If you're involved in the process and you can see it, that's fair enough. But I can only see as far as my eyes and hands take me. If you say trust the process, but I'm seeing this player improve, that man arrive, these little building blocks, all right, there's a process. If I'm telling you to build my patio and you're telling me trust the process and I can see the builders out there, all right, it might not look wavy today, but it is what it is. If I'm looking outside and men are meant to be working and you're telling me you're in Ibiza, you're still trying to buy the materials, but you're saying, trust, bro, I'm going to get it done. But man, I'm not trusting that. So show me something, innit? Rome weren't built in a day, but as I always say, show me some scaffolding. Show me some materials being delivered. Show me some laborers cleaning up stuff and them things there. Show me materials being dropped off. Show me what Arteta should be the site manager with the hard hat. Show me something. I've seen little bits and pieces, but in typical Arsenal fashion, we're seeing little bits and pieces, and then we're seeing other little bits and pieces that are not really enough. They show you just enough to believe and just enough to be pessimistic. It's the halfway house thing. It's crazy, man. Man, like DG punching the gaffer. No, not the gaffer still. Someone who thinks they're sporting director, fucking pussy up. But anyway, sorry, people. I mean, how are you going to be a sporting director of a Sunday League club if 1, you're a shitballer, 2, you've never played Sunday League, and 3, talking nonsense, bro? Where you don't need sporting director of a Sunday League club, bro. What's all of this? For 4th, I'm so rattled I can't even count now. You're being rude for no reason. Lucky, man. Should have banged off his headpiece even more. But anyways, man, what else are you saying? I'll trust the process when I see progress. Big up, DG. Hope you're blessed, bro. Paul, appreciate you. And that's it. I can only trust as much. This is why I have an opinion on Arteta, but I'm not Arteta in or out. Like, I see enough reason for you to go. I see reasons for you to stay. I don't have allegiances for you. And I think that's the problem. There's Arteta sexuals who he can do no wrong. There's just man that didn't want him from the start, right? I'm not saying that's wrong, but they didn't want him. And then there's people like us where, someone might believe in Arteta, but he's showing, if he gets it wrong, fair play. Or someone that doesn't believe in Arteta, but if he gets it right, fair play. This is the problem. Football becomes a bit too toxic for my liking. And it's like one opinion. If you say one opinion in 1995, that's got to be it. For life, that's got to be it. You can't switch it up. You can't learn. You can't unlearn. You can't rate a player and then not rate a player. You can't not rate a player and then rate a player. You can't think a manager was bad and now he's good. You're not allowed to change your opinions because everyone wants to be a fucking smart ass in football and say, I told you so. I'm the most knowledgeable when, none of us fans know anything. Pep Guardiola, these guys that have done anything as close to football greatest, they say I'm learning every day. They say I learn nothing. So who the hell are us honest football fans? But that's football fans. Everyone thinks they're a genius, innit? No one's got the humbleness to understand you get things wrong. And I might be wrong. Or there might be an opinion that's different from mine that's just as good. You know, people only, and this is the thing about football, like life, football reiterates your bullshit, pardon my language. You have a conscious bias. This is why, even when it comes to players, you know, I like skillful Brazilian fairy players, Flair players. So my unconscious bias, if I see that, I'm going to gravitate towards it. Then I might have friends who all agree with me, and they're going to do the confirmation bias because they're all telling me the same thing. Where if I have my opinion, I've got a friend who might like that, but might approach it from a different example. He teaches me something. And that's why you see Pep Guardiola with numerous different people who challenge his opinion on a regular basis, people. You know, anytime you think you're the man, you know everything, it's a myth, you know. Even when you look at, I mean, what's that show? I was watching Genghis Khan on Netflix the other day. You know, Genghis Khan, big Genghis Khan, it's a bit extreme, but when he's going into towns and robbing them, he's getting the most smartest people, the most, you know, innovative people, and they're forming part of his council in their respective disciplines. Why would you do that? Because he understands there's man that know things a bit more than me, and people who can provide a different spin on things. So it's an interesting one, man. But everybody thinks they're fucking genius with football, man. And that's the jarring thing. That's why I like the DG Nation, because we all have different opinions and all these sort of things, man. Bro, I can really see us finishing 8th again, bro. If nothing changes, then yeah, man, I have to imagine that. Unless we have the preseason from heaven and a mad thing happens, it's a madness. Preseason started, broski. But Arteta was so lucky to survive past Christmas, bro. To be fair, man have been sacked for less, and that's why I've said Arteta, no matter how much criticism I give him, I mean, how many luxuries I give him, there's been many things he's been able to hide behind, because just off the, yes, we can talk about Kroenke and all these things, but just specifically to what Arteta is accountable for, he should have got the clip. I don't think there's anyone, I didn't want that to happen, but he could have got the clip. You're 100% facts. And that's where I think Arteta knows this. And when you've got nobody, everyone's just reinforcing your nonsense, in my opinion. You've got nobody asking you why you're doing several things. This is what happens. You've got a novice in Edu. Arteta left to his own devices, an absent owner. You can see how everything is a mess and everybody's freestyling and whatnot. And this is why this position is amazing for everybody apart from Arteta, because whether he's a good manager or not at Arsenal, he's going to have learned a damn lot. He's jumped in at the deep end. He's had to deal with COVID, wage cuts, all these things. You know, is that going to make him a good manager for Arsenal or not? At this moment, I think we're developing a manager for someone else, because we're not holding him accountable. We hold an owner accountable. We hold players accountable. So why is the same not being done on the manager? You know, he can do all the self-reflection until he's blue in the face. What's the technical director doing? And when you're too chummy and pally, this is the issue. And it just feels like we're relying on a movie, if I'm completely honest, to do something serious, man. Can you trust the process when he brings Odegaard on loan? Now Villa are making bids for our youngsters. Ice chips, I don't really think that makes sense, but fair play. I think you're just mad for no reason with that one there. DG, would you rather sell Aubameyang or Lacazette? Personally, I'd rather sell Lacazette. Yeah, I'd rather sell Lacazette, because, you know, if Aubameyang gives me the goals, he gives me the goals, innit? Theo, I hope you're right on winning the league. DG, you feel optimistic about Aubameyang and Laka this season? Surely Aubameyang will do better than last. You know, I'm keeping the faith in it. Hopefully, bro. Sporting director hype, you know, man that can't kick a football as well. You know, man said rebuild forever. Dirty Sanchez. It's crazy, man. Good opinions, keep them coming, people. Yeah, I was ignoring that, man. Yes, bro. If you sign a 10, then does Smith Rowe still start? If so, where and what's the formation with Smith Rowe and a new 10 start? Well, Smith Rowe can play off the flanks. Admittedly, I know you're a Spurs fan, but I hate, it's one of my pet peeves when fans do this. Oh my God, we can't sign a 10 because Smith Rowe did. Where you evidently saw with Odegaard, sometimes both of them are playing. There's no creativity. Some of them, sometimes one is injured, one can fill in. Sometimes one's on the bench. And even with them, if we was to have 2 10s, including Smith Rowe, I want an 8. You know, I want an 8. And at the end of the day, you know, we're meant to be Arsenal Football Club, meant to be a top club. Everyone's meant to be competing for positions. Nobody's given a divine right. If you want to start, do your job. So I don't think Smith Rowe would have any problems. I actually think you'd probably see a better Smith Rowe if we sign at 10, because there's less of it all being on him. You then get to rest his legs. Like with Saka, there has been times we've over relied on Smith Rowe, and it looks like, quite frankly, the man them are knackered. So how can they really perform? You know, he's still getting to grips with playing every 2-3 days and whatnot. So yeah, man, I think it wouldn't be a problem. More want an 8, but yeah, man. Interesting comments nonetheless, man. I think Smith Rowe long term is at 8, but we just have to be able to trade him there, man. He needs to be given an opportunity there. I think that's a very dim way of looking at Ice Chips, but yeah, man. Everyone's allowed their opinion, man. Who would you want as the manager instead? Perhaps Graham Potter? No, I rate Potter. The managers I want, we can't get in it. And you all know the names. We can't get in it because we're not serious. Like, you can't bring them ones in. Not even Brendan Rodgers is going to finna take this thing. Because the thing is not serious, man. Good opinion, Clive. Hold up, DG. For real, I hate our style, but how can you have a style with the players who don't fit the style for system football? You need specifics in positions. Should go if not top 4. Well, to be fair with you, need specifics. But who's the one that wanted to play Cedric left back and this guy there and Xhaka left back and Willian through the 9? He's the one that's put square pegs in round holes. When he's winning the FA Cup and he's finding systems, we're not saying that. You know, let's be real. A lot of these players aren't good enough. Are you going to sit there and tell me them players aren't good enough to implement a system? Really and truly. You know, this is the propaganda that's affected Arsenal. There's people that have finished above us, people below us. If you was to match up the squads, are our squads better than theirs? Probably. So why are they getting more of a tune out of it? Look at Aston Villa's whole collective squad. They have a lot of individuals that are better than us, but that whole collective squad, walk on for that. Leeds, a lot of them are championship ballers, really and truly, you know, doing madness. Obviously, with respect to Leeds, they're making signings. So I think we need to find a balance. Yeah, you need all of that, but where have you shown anything to know you get a system and people are working with worse, you know? Just like I said, with attack being 9th, the Leeds have a better collective option of attackers. So what are we doing, or crucially, what aren't we doing? I think that's a bit of a cop-out, you know? What is the system? You know, because I have to be mindful of what I've seen is when I have to say the system is how we play in top games. That's the only time when we play these top 6 games and there's 3 at the back and we're reactive. That's the only time I see real clarity. Yes, on occasion, I look at West Ham in that draw. I look at Leicester when we came back from behind. I actually look at Chelsea and Spurs at the Emirates. We've played some attacking football, some high pressing and all them things. But it hasn't always been there. So I agree with you, but that's what I mean. It only goes so far, bro. It only goes so far, in my opinion, with that stuff. There has to be balance. To touch on what you said about competition, looking forward to see what we do with Pepe and Saka next season. Right, that's a good question. What are the good things you've seen from last season? Is there anything that gives you hope? I do think there's a better togetherness. I do think we've improved slightly defensively. I do like the players are not thinking to the level we need, but they are. It seems they're still making the same mistakes, but it does seem like there's a bit of active thinkers on the pitch. There's a bit more grit. Probably it, really. You know, probably it, really. There's a bit more sort of, I don't want to say progressive passing, but I'm looking for the right terms. There's a bit more, especially down our left, there seems like a bit more of a plan as to what we're doing. We're still doing a lot of nonsense, but I'd say that, man. DG, I miss Lacquer at 10, bro. You're on Bants, man. Lacquer's a lie, man. Bro, Abdullahi, what are you talking about, blood? Do your best impression of him, bro. You're in the wrong YouTube channel for that, bro. Oh, yeah, dog. I'm moderating, you know. Don't lose it. With great power comes great responsibility. Don't lose it, you know. Because I'm like Diego Simeone. We sell players quicker than we got them, you know. We're not on the Mazzolini, man. Does look like that. Clive, yeah, man. I think you're right, though. But that's what I mean. We need balance. And I think Arsenal's the problem. We can't approach this with balance. Because you speak to some Arsenal fans, Arteta can do no right because the players aren't good enough. You speak to some, Arteta don't need better players. He should be performing. And I think both parties are semi-right. You know, Arteta should be, regardless, if he should be performing better with those players he has. And I do not rate a lot of them, but they should be performing a lot better. There's no excuse that these lot went from a grand total of 8th to 8th. And even if we look at it, we're not behind because both teams, bare teams above us are better than us. We have fucked it up all the time. How many times did we actually were playing the first game on the weekend? We knew what we had to do. We'd lose it. We'd play after everyone. We'd lose it. There was a long time where everybody was messing up top 4 race. You know, everyone was messing about. You had to try really hard to not be in the top 4 race this year. And in typical fashion, Arsenal managed to do it. Like, you had to, be man thing, you had to try very hard. You know, we defeat ourselves before opponents, man. You know, do we need better? Well, we're relying on, I always say it, Crystal Palace at the Emirates. Kieran Tierney is trying to break down the low block. Everybody else is shook. That's on Arteta. Man are trying 1,000 crosses for Willian through the middle. That's on Arteta. It's crazy, man. Healthy competition within the squad breeds success. Have to make it difficult for players on a daily basis. Just pushing each other, man. You know, I don't think Tini's like Bellerin at all, but you saw for years, on top of Bellerin not improving, what it did for Bellerin not to have that constant sort of someone on him. You know, our fair play, Maitland-Niles made a fuss. I remember Debussy did a little thing here and there. Generally, though, and apart from the last 2 years, that's been Bellerin's. And I'm not saying Tini's like that, but if Tavares, regardless, can just come in and just push him. You don't have to be the first choice, but just push him. And when you get your chance, you know, as much as I think Tavares is second choice, I would love him to play well, get a look in the team and hold on to his shirt. That's better. So when Tini comes in, he's saying, you know what, brother, I'm keeping this shirt. And if everybody else is fighting for their shirt, looking over their shoulder, there's no problems. Too many a time you look at Arsenal and it's like mediocre players are acting like they're doing this club a favour playing for us. You know, for me, if I'm playing for Arsenal again, let's not use Arsenal. You know, if I'm a footballer and I've grown up in England, right, and I'm playing for, I don't know, United, Liverpool, you know, let's use United because, you know, out of Arsenal, I'd probably sign for them, City as well. You'd be, and you know you're a mediocre player. You know you shouldn't be there, bro. You should be damn right leaving everything on the ring. In the ring, it looks like too many people at this club got options. You know, they're doing Arsenal a favor. They're here because they're under duress. Like they're doing us a favor. And anytime that's that, there's an issue. When you look at Leeds, every player is moving like it's their last game of playing football in their career. We don't have that. These players would like to be successful. They're not dying to be successful because if they were, they would arrest these things themselves. They would have, when we won the FA Cup, saying, "Yeah, look at the sort of things we're building." Now I wonder what it feels like to have a goal in mind and accomplish top four and beyond to help this club get Champions League. These lot are not ingrained with it because if they were, you know, they'd be doing the hard graft. We're not at training right now. And I'm sure they probably are doing the hard graft, but they'll be putting in the hard yards. Not just when it's put on YouTube, we're doing fancy training drills and all of these things. And man are tweeting, we're working hard and all of that. That's, you know, there's no hiding place. And what you do in the dark or what you don't do in the dark always comes to light. And you see it at Arsenal time and time again. And you saw it last season. And if anything doesn't change, you're going to see it again next season, people, you know. Only a fool would expect something different. Man said a closet United fan. No, are you mad? If Arsenal were, let's be real, if Arsenal wasn't a football club, you know, and if I was a footballer and Arsenal doesn't exist, bro, man's playing for United, man's playing for Liverpool, you know, of current day. You don't have to ask me to go to City. Big clubs, big heritage. If you understand football at its purest level, you understand that. If you don't, well, then you don't. I know a guy who said Arteta is the third best in the Premier. Yo, Mod's got to be on the chopping block, man. Moving mad. I don't know, bro. If you look online, you'll find plenty of links towards Arsenal's under 21s youth games and things like that, man. That's where you need to go, man. No, I would not accept 40 million for Smith Rowe. What else? Is there any other transfer news? Let's see if we got. I don't know if club football's for Mancini again, man. Remember to hit the daily assist button. Come on. Where are we at in terms of likes, folks? Where are we at in terms of likes? We're at 217. I'm very appreciative, but yeah, man, there's over 100 of you in here that have not hit that like button. Hit the like button. Let's get to 300. If you have not hit that like button and you're an England fan, we're not winning on the weekend. If you're not an England fan, whatever you're wishing on, you're not going to get it. If you do not care about football and unexpected bills are due your way, the very computer or device you're listening, screen's going to bust, boiler's going to break, shower's going to stop putting in hot water, house gonna get robbed, car gonna window gonna get smashed, season ticket going up. I know you don't want any of that. I don't know, man. Can you blame Mancini? You know, You get less time to work with players, but more time to analyze things. Less stress, really and truly. But yeah, I can't blame him for that. Do you think Lokonga will push for first team football? He'll probably come here, be a bit of a sideman, and then have to work his way up in it. Really, when you get your chance, take it, man. Honestly, maybe the numbers are not there yet, but your content is so pure. It's probably the best I've seen on Level Opinions, hitting the like all the time for you. You will get there. Clive Laws, I appreciate that, man. Really do. We don't need the, you know how the YouTube game is. You know the gimmicky and the nonsense that people do, man. Casting spells, you got to, man. Bro, that's how I'm feeling, brother. Big up yourself, Chiellini to United. I'm sure United fans would relish that, but I mean, Chiellini and Varane, it's hardly foundations for the future. How comes we haven't sold anyone yet? Only Xhaka was involved in the Euros. No clue for our lack of progress with selling people, but to be fair, Wengers Guendouzi's headed out. We have sold a couple of other 23s. Well done for doing that, Abdullahi, man. Thoughts on Ben White? I've offered my opinions on Ben White, man. I think I'm not going to sit here and cap. Like, bro, if he was asking me for the centre halves that I would have looked at before, I wouldn't have said Ben White, but I'm not against it. Overpaying probably, overpaying a lot. Again, he's 23 years of age, so it's not like we're signing someone in their prime. So again, he's clearly playing to a good level, but and now I want to see how you take him to the next level. And Arteta's bottled the chance to work with developing Saliba. He's not really shown me something with Gabriel. When times got hard, he dropped Gabriel out. So you've got someone that is significantly more experienced with them, but at the same development stage, I need to see a lot more. Why is a mod span in the chat? You're going to have to get removed for that, man. Sorry, Boski. Just going to have to block you, my guy. So if you carry on like that, that anyone can get it moderated. That now he's just gone now. Completely blocked. And once you get blocked, there's no unblocking. With great power comes great responsibility, man. Just unnecessary mashing up the chat. Don't need that. Any contract news? Nope. Well, I don't have any. If you find any, tell me, man, because we need something. We need something. Easy, do you think we are signing Ben White to play right back? I think centre half, but I'm not gonna lie. I get a bit of Callum Chambers vibes about it. Like the lines are very blurred for Ben White. You hear he can do a job in midfield. We keep talking about right back. I hope it's a centre half thing. I don't want guys to be a jack of all trades, master of none. If he's a centre half and time, timing, feeling that right back or even midfield, cool. But I don't want to see 2 games left right back, then 3 games at centre half, then 4 games in midfield, and all of this. There's a fine line between adaptability and just throwing everyone everywhere. You need a couple of adaptable man, but I think the lines get blurred too much at Arsenal. Xhaka left back, Smith Rowe false died. There's plenty of other examples. Cedric playing here, there, and everywhere. Maitland-Niles, there's bare things going on. Interesting comments all the way, though, man. E.g., you seen the rumor of us and United wanting him City. We spoke about that yesterday, and it's probably nonsense. Like, we're probably going to get linked with a whole host of Barcelona players. Like, I'm pretty sure we'll get linked with Coutinho again. Obviously, by Barcelona standards, they're broke, They're broke, so they need to free up their things. We hear they can't register their new players. Saka being used here, there, and everywhere as well. Some don't get twisted. I don't mind it. Sometimes people have to do a job, but there's just too many things going on, bro. Not even mod moving Gazy. What you saying? What you saying, people? I need to be like Arteta and review the moderators and cut some people from the list and buy some new signings. Boy. Can't lie, Arteta props can't handle big personality. Saliba and told the media I'm the boss. He might see it as arrogance, hence why I don't even think it's that. I just think it's if you're not buttoning up your shirt and then things, it's one of them ones there. And I think that's something Arteta is gonna have to learn. He wants to go and do mad stuff. He can't manage bigger clubs and bigger jobs if he can't handle elite talents, man. Saliba caught it straight. That's deep. DG, if Chelsea or Tottenham were to put a player contract on the table, would you sign it? What kind of question is that, bro? I love Arsenal, but bro, yeah, what the fuck? Nah, bro, that's a meal ticket, bro. I love Arsenal. They don't love me as much. Of course. Fuck. If Chelsea or Tottenham, as much as I love it, if Arsenal's not coming with no offer, if Chelsea or Tottenham said, come be a scout, come be a coach, come do this, come Z, bro, I'm off. Are you bad? It's your chance to be in professional football, bro. It is what it is. Darren Ben went for Spurs. He's an Arsenal fan. If Arsenal don't come anywhere with offer, what could I do, man? What do you think of Bamford as a replacement for Laka? Wouldn't mind it, but take a pass on that, really. You can't have healthy competition with Arteta. Explain, Willian. Bro, I think with that, the managers trying to save their face, man. They try, that was, I think Willian, for the benefit of Willian and the detriment of the other players, that weren't even a selection thing. That's just my pride is on the line. Like, I've gassed up this guy. I've said Premier League ready. I've got to force this. I've got to play it until it bangs, sort of thing. And he showed the wrong degree of stubbornness. It took him a lot to drop out Willian. And that's another thing to us fans. It looks like certain man can play poor, but they'll get 10 games. Then the next man won't be used for time. Like with Pepe, you won't use him for time. You'll throw him in against a City or that and that. And then he'll play woeful for obvious reasons. He's not fluid in that. And then he's dropped out. It does feel like there's one rule for one and 10 rules for others, man. Villa fan as your mod. It doesn't matter who's at, I just want the right people. I've got moderators who are not Arsenal fans. We just need sensible people, man. Now, one dodgy mod doesn't mean you have to review us all. Bro, I mean, I'm sure when Arteta reviews the whole squad, he's not going to say, sack us, Tierney, you lot need to go. He might say, you lot need to make improvements, but we need to look at the whole squad because right now, apart from what, C, M, C, them man, they are good right now. Them people, they are good right now. They're the two, they are good right now. Omar, you put in your work. Prince Teddy, you put in your work. Omar, I can't lie. That guy's making, Abdullah is making you look fruity, bro. You might have to come under review still. Man said, mate, if Spurs offer me 5 bags a week, I'm in that toilet bowl quicker than the week old Dando. DG, if Arteta shows clear improvement but ends up 5th next season, sack or stick? Stick. Because that's the thing I said. Let me make a timestamp of that as well, man. That's the last luxury I was saying for Arteta, man. It's 5th. That's the one thing I was saying, bro. Even if you came, I'm not gonna lie, you can still go if you finish 8th, but obviously the mandate is top 4, immediately returning to top 4. The minimum is European football. My minimum, I almost couldn't even say it anymore. My absolute minimum is a style of play or just something in it. So at least I can say, again, building blocks. As I said earlier, Rome weren't built in a day, but if the materials are being delivered, if I can see laborers, if I can see things going on, I say, all right, cool. Suddenly, when you're 8th and you're having all these problems, there's not a luxury. Because then I could sit here and say, you know what? The variables that the manager controls, he's done all right. He's overperformed. He's got something out of his tools. A good tradesman can never blame his tools, but you can only be as good as your tools, And I think that's where the lines get blurred. There are some specific variables that Arteta can't be blamed for, things that are not Arteta's fault. Like I said, inheriting a poor squad with bad habits, a woeful owner, not really experienced above him, players that are bottlers, all of these things. But the sporting things on the sporting front, everything we see on a match day is Mikel Arteta, and he should get a lot more out of this squad. If he showed me a minimum sort of thing, you can stay because that's what I want. Then I could sit here and say better players means better things. I still think better players mean better things, but I don't know. You could sign the best midfielder, creative midfielder in the world. Have I seen anything from a sporting perspective to suggest that we're going to start creating more chances or he's going to receive the ball in the final third or in dangerous areas? No, because what I think is going to happen is what we always see. We're going to sign the creative man. He's going to have to get the ball off the halfway line because our midfielders can't pass forward. And naturally, the front three are dropping back and then we're in a calamity. So, yeah, if he gets 5th, but there's a style of play and, I'm seeing what he's doing with the young players. I'm seeing clarity. Then, yeah, of course you can stay. There's building blocks. That's all I want. That gives me encouragement. That's all I want as a football fan, specifically an Arsenal fan. Just some encouragement. I don't see that right now. Apart from being hopeless on an occasional, it's a madness, man. So it's a mad one still. It's a mad one. It's a good question though, man. A man said first, EG stole my girl, now my mod. It's hard in these streets. Like, come on, Tino, none of that, man. You lot kill me with some of the nonsense. Tino's calm as well. You can stay as a moderator, man. Couple of you calm. There's a couple of you. There's a couple of you. No, Sandro, you're good. You know what? You're shaky for that posting suggestion. One sec, people. I need to see my phone. You're shaky for that posting suggestion, but you're good, man. You're good. You're calm. You're calm. You're calm. Same. Yeah, I'm gonna be late for Rance's show still. I need to get lunch still. I'll be there at 1:30, man. Couple more questions and I'll bust out. I completely forgot, man. You need a whole clear out of the backroom staff, pick up the mods. CFC's finest. You're on your way still. You're on your way still. Keep running up the lights. Come on. Facts. I'd love for Pepe to be the first name on the team sheet. You can see he's a confidence player and he needs 90 minutes week in, week out. He's got to earn it, but I just feel he needs to. I'm not going to sit here and cap. I think there's a tune's been. Arteta's finally got a tune out of him. I don't know what you was doing in the first half of the season, but now you've got it. Nah. Sandro, agenda or not, the fact that you said Pulse is a shooter, I'm on you, man. You're finished with that one, man. Is this Ben White levels, bro? Hearing crazy amounts from Chris. Let's be real. Let's be brutally honest. We would not be. None of us were saying to sign him in it, but it is what it is. We have to be shameless. We have to hope he is in it. I think he's a good centre half. We're gonna have to find out in it. This is real. I'll be real with you. We're just gonna have to find out, man. It's a bit mad though, man. Let's just hope so, innit? You think Basuma will still come? Bro, I ain't heard nothing about Basuma, so it's a madness. Top 4 at least, minimum top 5. He's going to have a week to prepare before game match, at least a trophy as well, FA Cup. I want a specific run in the FA Cup. I would love, like I said, you already hit the nail on the head with Europe. I would like the FA Cup, but I'm not necessarily going to judge him on that. That's the Arsenal way these days. Let's just find out, bro. Let's just find out, man. It's one of them. You know it's going to be a crazy roller coaster, but nobody does emotional roller coasters just like Arsenal Football Club, man. So it is what it is. And this is what I don't want to be said. And it is going to be said. People are going to say Upamecano, Canute, some players that we was linked with for years. They were significantly cheaper than Ben White. If Ben White's the guy you've identified for what you want to do, and like I said, you see what he is at 23, but you see what he is at 26, and you see how the squad's going to develop, fair play, go and get Ben White. Don't just sign him because his name's holding weight, and like us, you're reading transfers on Google and you see he's linked with all these clubs, you know. Make sure there's something there, man. Where do you think we're ending up? Where do you think we're ending? Well, I don't know what you think you're saying there. I think you're saying where I think we're going to finish in the league. As high as 5th, as low as 8th again, if nothing changes with mentality, with signings and the rest of it, man. Maybe even worse than 8th, bro. Exactly. Changes on the training ground take time to translate onto the pitch on match day. Pepe is a solid example. Exactly. Pepe is a more all-rounded player. Just as much. There's been times he's obviously scored and been the showman, but he's there defensively. The problem is, for every one of that, there's 10 of why it's not going on. And obviously, I just think Arteta, my biggest thing, I need you to learn better game management in-game, better game management if you're in multiple competitions the season after next. I need to see, like you said, more of that. And I just want to see more clarity. And I think your communication can improve. Your communication was something that really stood out for me when you signed for this club, the way you used to say things. And now I don't know if the club are silencing you. I don't know if Kroenke sweetened you up. I don't know, because he used to be very smart and say things in indirect ways when he first took over for me. And he would say things, not as white and black as this, but he would say, I want to sign a striker, but for example, but the P's aren't there. I don't know what the club's doing now. It's just vagueness. It's a madness, man. But hey, man, it's time to go eat, though, man. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna be on Rance's live stream soon, people. Appreciate all of you that have been locked in. How many likes did we finish up on? 266. If you have not hit that like button, hit so already. Yeah, man. I'm out, people. Please hit the like button. Yeah, man. Apologies to all the questions. Let me ask a couple of more. Do you think Lokonga's a good signing? Yeah. Let me get in a couple more, man. What others have we seen here? I don't know for a replacement on Arteta, but I don't think it's the big boy names if he ever was sacked. But yeah, man, I didn't want to leave you lot hanging. I'm very hungry, bro. I can't lie. I'm gonna go tuck it. But on that note, I'm out of here, man. Check out the rest of my content. Hit the like button. I'm out.